Alright, what's going on today? Let's see. PlayStation Experience is going on. Dying Light system requirements. Final Fantasy 13 on PC gets some graphics options. Street Fighter 5? Huh. Alright, hold on. Yeah! I am so happy about that trailer. It shows that Capcom really cares about the hardcore community, the people who spend a lot of time and effort trying to up their fighting game expertise and going to tournaments, and the people who were playing in the arcades back in the 90s and made Street Fighter the thing that it is. And Street Fighter really isn't, my fighting game. I'm way more of a high-speed anime-style player. By the way, I play Guilty Gear Xrd. It's awesome. But the most surprising thing about this trailer to me was what happened in the end, when it said that it was going to be a PlayStation 4 and PC exclusive. That's really significant. I've said a lot of times before that console choice in this generation doesn't really matter. There aren't a lot of exclusives on either console, and pretty much any game that you want to play can also be played on a good enough gaming PC right now. And I have a good enough gaming PC, and that means that I just really don't get console games all that much. I mean, I am a game journalist. It is actually my job to play these games and review them. And I rarely get games for the PS4 and Xbox One. And that's because my PC handles everything. I want to play Watch Dogs, I can play it on the PC. I want to play Saints Row, I can play it on the PC. I want to play Call of Duty, I can play it on the PC. There's basically nothing out there that I could only play on one console or the other. Of course, I'm actually in the minority here. Most people don't rely on their PC for games. They rely on consoles because they're cheaper and it's easier to use and you don't have to worry about viruses and everything like that. And so for a lot of people, console choice sort of matters, but still, most of the big games come out on both systems. You have Call of Duty on both systems. You have there was Destiny, which was a big thing, but that also came out on both systems. And so when a lot of people say, what should I get, the PS4 or the Xbox One, I go, I don't care. There's no real reason to choose between one or the other. In fact, the only console that actually has exclusive games that are worth buying at this point is the Wii U. Nintendo has put out some really good games, like Smash Brothers, like Super Mario 3D World, like Mario Kart 8, like Bayonetta 2, which wasn't Nintendo, but you know what I mean. That's the console that has exclusives, and so most people are going to end up buying their console of choice, either the PS4 or the Xbox One, or gaming PC, and then a Wii U. A lot like it was with the GameCube, a lot like it was with the N64, blah blah blah. Nintendo is always the second best console. But you might wonder why I'm talking about this in this Street Fighter V video. Now that Street Fighter V is only coming out on PC and PS4, we're starting to see a divide in the consoles, and it's in a really weird place. I would have never thought that it was going to be the fighting game community that made it worth deciding whether or not you want one console or the other. Killer Instinct, as many of you know, is only available on the Xbox One, and a lot of people bought an Xbox One just to play Killer Instinct. And Killer Instinct is a good game. There's really no reason not to play it if you have an Xbox One and you like fighting games. But it really split its community in half. There are a lot of people who play Killer Instinct professionally, like at tournaments, and they don't own an Xbox One. They play at their friend's house. And that's kind of crazy and mind-blowing to me. And now you look at the PS4, and the PS4 is getting Street Fighter V, and it also got Guilty Gear Xrd, and it looks like anime-style games like Under Night in Birth and Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax and stuff like that are also only going to come out on PS4. And so now you have a choice. Now you have to wonder, do I want to side with the Killer Instinct side of things, or do I want to side with the anime game style of things? And this is purely speculation, but when I went to E3 and played Mortal Kombat 10, it was all Xbox One controllers, so that might be a thing. And that's kind of exciting to me. Now I could actually make recommendations to people. Now there's some meaning in, do I want to get an Xbox One or do I want to get a PS4? For me, I still don't know, because Street Fighter V is still coming out on the PC, and I still have a gaming PC, so I'll still use it. All things considered, I'll probably end up getting a PS4, because it also looks like the big JRPG franchises are going to come out on it. Like, if a Tales game is going to come out, it's going to come out on the PS4. Persona 5 is coming out on the PS4, so I'll probably go PS4. I mean, I've played the PS4 and the Xbox One a lot for work. I've used, dev kits and review copies to play games, but like for my personal use, it's probably going to be the PS4. That's not going to be the same for all of you out there. I don't expect it to be. I'm not going rabble. You need to buy the console that I buy. I'm just saying there's meaning to it now, and that's kind of cool. Anyway, on to Street Fighter V itself. There was only a couple clips for people to look at during the trailer. Most of it was just inspirational things like, it's the drive that makes us achieve.
It's that drive that fuels us.
Or it's the thing that pushes us forward.
We know what it is to look up at an impossible challenge and push forward anyway.
Fail harder, fail faster.
You fail faster, you fail better.
Something like that. And I mean, it actually was kind of inspirational. It was kind of cool. They showed basically 5 clips, and 2 of those clips were just of Ryu and Chun-Li's openings, so, don't even think of those. The first was of Ryu posing, and a bunch of ink splotches sort of swirled around him, and he did this power-up thing where electricity crackled around his hands. I don't know if that's some sort of install super, or if it's a new mechanic, some new EX mechanic, something like that. Maybe it's showing that taunts are going to do something like they did in Third Strike. I think that would be amazing. The second thing was that they showed him using his EX Shinku Tatsumaki, or it's a super in certain games, depending on what games you're playing. And when he did it, a bunch of ink splotches swirled around his feet, so maybe that's the super signifier, this ink splotch thing. It's a lot different, it's a lot more vibrant than it was in Street Fighter 4. And then they showed him doing a super at the end, and a lot of people are saying it's a Shinku Hadouken, but it looked like a Denjin Hadouken to me. It looked like the electric one that could go through blocks and stuff. And that was sort of like a cool thing you could do in Third Strike. It's a lot different than the Goken's Denshin Hadouken in Street Fighter 4, and I kind of hope that this means that the game is going back to sort of like Third Strike-y fundamentals. They showed a lot of clips of Third Strike during the trailer. They also showed a lot of clips of the original Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but it was mostly Third Strike. They had Evo Moment 37 in there, and I'm kind of hopeful. Oh, there's one more clip where Chun-Li does an air combo. She has a bunch of stomps into some sort of air flip. I think it's kind of cool. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it means that this Street Fighter is going to be a little bit faster than Street Fighter 4 was. I'm hoping that its combo system is a little more open. I'm really hoping for something a little bit more on the lines of Third Strike. But it's all speculation at this point. I don't really know. The models are interesting. They're a little bit more realistic and less cartoony, which is what we said about Street Fighter 4. But generally, they're just less blocky, less bulky. They look a lot less Fist of the North Star, if you know what I mean, and a lot more, Cowboy Bebop or Trigun. It probably doesn't mean a whole lot to many of you. Yeah, I don't know. I like the art style better. I didn't really like the art style for Street Fighter 4, and I like the art style for Street Fighter V a lot. We're probably going to hear more about it soon. Capcom says that there's going to be big announcements from Capcom Cup, which, is this big fighting game tournament. Either way, this is like the kickoff to the new generation of fighting games. It's Guilty Gear Xrd, Killer Instinct, and Street Fighter V. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know if you're going to be playing Street Fighter V, or if Guilty Gear is more your game, or if you play Killer Instinct. Yeah, let us know, and I will see you next time.